This game is not gonna die with its controversy anytime soon, is it? Honestly, we talked to Skullgirls about 2 different times, played the hard mode of arcade so I can fight Marie with Annie, and that was entertaining, I guess. Honestly, getting my ass beat for like the last couple of minutes in the damn video, but still, nonetheless, there's just so much talking about Skullgirls, honestly. There's still so much talking points about it that people have gone made their own videos about it, obviously, way after I stopped talking about it. And essentially, when it comes down to things, do you got a lot of people coming from different places, right? Children are talking about this conversation, even though they shouldn't even be here because they are idiots. Why are you here? Then you also have people who have never played Skullgirls talk about the topic. Then you have people that hasn't played it since the game came out back in a decade ago, trying to come back and be like, all right, let's talk about it. And now I'm gonna tell you why I censor, why I'm on the side of censorship, honestly. And that's really annoying. And then you got just people that are biased and all that type of stuff. And it's just really effing weird how this whole thing is just off of one part of the game and one part of the game specifically. And even when I was watching Rev's video, honestly, I didn't necessarily agree with the last ending take of his, talking about if you still support the game, then, you're a bitch ass boy. Which, he didn't say that, but it's basically kind of somewhat the same. But essentially, when it comes down to things, I don't necessarily agree with that, because, and I know this is gonna sound very hypocritical, but I'm gonna just be honest with you. Gameplay wise, the game is still fun. Why do you think I played the hardest difficulty when it came down to everything and upload that hoe when that controversy started? I played it because I want to show you that even though the game is now getting censored, granted I didn't play it on the censored patch, I played it on the non-updated version. Even though, the game is still, shitty when it comes to the censorship and stuff like that, at the end of the day, the game is still fun as hell to play. Because at the end of the day, what I really want to push out is that while this censorship has happened, the game is still kind of fun, honestly. And it's a shame that a game like this, with amazing characters, again, with amazing art that people slayed hours for to put this hand-drawn animations to work, honestly, and all that just to get cut out or censored or stuff like that, it just doesn't make any sense of why this happens, honestly. There is no reason for Hidden Variable to go out their way to censor a game, honestly. If I'm working on a game, or if I'm trying to get more people to come to, and play the game, I am not cutting shit out for modern sensibilities. I'm going to maximize my profit by trying to work on getting new players to come through, while at the same time trying to, keep the old players as well that still plays the game and still loyal to it. Because let's be honest, once you cut out one part of your fan base, guess what's gonna end up happening? You cut out one part of it to the point where you got only the new players or whatever, and then essentially they do not carry the game forever. They will not. They'll basically, have this controversy be a thing, and then once the new players come in, they might play a little bit of it, but then it's gonna go right back down the same way, if not even worse. You know what other game decided to, basically put a new part of their, fan base forward instead of looking back at their old fan base? Dead or Alive 6. They did that shit. Thanks to microtransactions being a really bigger part, but still, they tried to hide, the sexy outfits that the girls are mainly known for. And even though while it's still in the game and while you can find them and use those outfits, they still try to, not necessarily focus too much on it, even though that has literally been DOA's focus for years, honestly. And when it comes down to things, guess what happened? DOA 6 sucked dick, and it's not the best. It's definitely not the best game to go play. If you want to go play a good DOA game, play DOA 4 or 5, honestly, which is regarded as the best DOA game, honestly. So if that's what you want, and that's what you're going to go ahead and do when it comes to playing a DOA game, go play those. But that killed DOA 6 when it comes to them microtransactions and not focusing on what the fans want what the game to be focused on and stuff. Hell, it was so bad that the actual creator of the game, I think, left Twitter and just went on vacation for a while. That says something, right? Trying to always market to a new audience, to a new group of people, doesn't mean let's automatically commit the S word on literally your old audience. You shouldn't have to do that just so you get a new audience. If your new audience don't like that oh, Philly is actually twerking her ass off over in the corner, or like Squiggly is just squirting all over the place by masturbating with Leviathan for some weird reason, then if it comes down to things, if they don't like it, then so be it. They just don't like it. At the end of the day, you at least still have a decent fan base that still will spread the glory of your game in a better light than you trying to do something yourself and then censor it to high hell for absolutely no reason. But you know what the saddest part about this whole entire situation that honestly people probably have already seen but no one has, the courage to say? Is that the situation ain't gonna get no better. Honestly, this is about the best it's going to be for anything, right? They're not gonna take back the decision. No people are gonna do their, research when it comes down to things to care enough to understand why Skullgirls was a phenomenal game with what it had, and why the censorship is a bad move. No one is going to do that. You know why? Because people, the casual people, don't care about none of that. They want things easy. They don't want to research things. If we had smarter people, I guarantee you, we would have less problems, and the companies that runs these corporations and industries and stuff like this, and when it comes to censorship moves, we wouldn't have these amounts of issues because everyone will be on board, be like, this is a dumbass decision, get this out of our face, get back the old stuff that we had, and nothing would be a big problem. But because no one wants to research, everything has to be easy, nothing has to be fought for. This is why we have stuff like this to happen, honestly. It's why people get screwed over in different ways, and why certain media just don't necessarily get the proper respect as it should. Even a decade-old ass game like Skullgirls ends up getting screwed over because, again, the casual audience of people just do not care. Again, take a look at who's really talking about the conversation here. People who hasn't talked about the game or played the game in over a decade, or at least in the decade time period. People who has never really played Skullgirls like that before, or at least we have no information that they played the game like that. They just see that it exists, and the moment something happens, oh, we gotta hop on that for a video or something like that, right? Look at the people that's really talking about the situation. Look at the people that, see what types of groups of people they support, right? Look at the types of people that, making these videos and seeing what their viewpoints really is with all the other stuff that they have done, right? Like, if you take all that into account, you can kind of understand why we can't necessarily come to agreement that this censorship stuff is ridiculously stupid. The gameplay of what Skullgirls is fine. The gameplay is fun. Outside of, even though with the changes it's still stupid, obviously that's the part of it that we don't like, but the gameplay, the core gameplay of what it is fine. It's a problem when, one, the devs themselves come out and just basically be like, oh, our fans suck dick, basically they don't like it. Well, oh well, then it's 2011, it's a different time, even though you should be pissed on by saying it's a different time, honestly, literally piss going in your mouth. But when it comes down to things, you also have people that, again, comes through and not necessarily know much about the game, and essentially, again, it's just not a good situation overall. But at the end of the day, nothing's going to change. No one cares about changing anything because, again, everything has to be easy. It has to go on the easy route. People's attention spans don't necessarily reach out in the ways you want them to reach out because no one really cares anymore, and it's a sad part of reality that we gotta kind of deal with. What's also the worst part about this whole situation is that when inevitably the censorship wins, because let's be honest, it really is, unless somebody's going to buy Hidden Variable or some shit like that, or buy the devs off and then just rehire new people to come through, or rehire the old people rather to come through and fix up the game. If we're going to be very honest with each other, the censorship is most likely going to win. But you know what's going to happen? Once people start talking about this whole situation and the censorship wins, guess what's going to happen with majority of people when it comes to Skullgirls? They're going to drop it and go to a different game and complain about that shit. You want to know why? Because that's all people freaking do. It's like when people be talking about genders in different games or different fictional characters and stuff like that. They be like, oh, I so wish that we had a trans character or a gender fluid character or a non-binary or any other thing that's out there type of character. and they just be so adamant about having characters like that, honestly. And then when it comes down to things, once they get that character in there, guess what happened? They drop them and then go to the next game. That's literally how it is. Like, it doesn't make any kind of sense, honestly. And then sometimes you get arguments that just never ever die, and it's just like, dude, no one cares at this point. The situation has been made, it's a stupid ass decision, move your ass on. But still people will continue to defend and fight for that decision, even though it's literally ridiculous as hell and it doesn't need to be in existence. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Now, the only thing that has came out of this situation that is slightly good is that the fact that someone has made a mod taking out the censorship changes that people that, you know, the devs have made, which I believe I saw that on someone else's video. I believe the channel name was like Lucky Strike 1917. I think that's the channel name. But when it comes down to things, they were saying that, you know, that the mod is out there, but you know what the shitty part is? There shouldn't even be a mod for that, because at the end of the day, you know, mods are optional and you shouldn't necessarily have to add a mod in if you don't want to. But the fact that you gotta do it for literally getting your game back, that, and you know, putting back stuff that you never really should have lost in the first effing place, it's really ridiculous, honestly. It really is. I really would like to know though, when it comes to that mod, does it actually remove every, you know, censorship change? Like, even when it comes to certain animation movements of like Philia's like panty shots and stuff like that, or does it just put back stuff like the parts of the stories that, you know, that was cut, or like parts of the art gallery that was cut, and it doesn't necessarily do anything with animation? I would like to see and know if that's like the case or not. But still, regardless, it shouldn't have been put there or been made in the first damn place, because at the end of the day, again, mods are just optional things, honestly, right? It just, at the end of the day, just really doesn't make any type of sense. You know what I believe? You know what I honestly believe, and I have low expectations of people, but you know what I believe, honestly? If, when it comes down to everything with the new devs, with them shitting on the fans, and essentially just going out their way to, you know, hide the reviews that's negative and shit on the game, you know what I think the old ass devs would have done? They would have probably just sat there and been like, alright, we effed up bad, so we're gonna do some things to kind of fix this shit, honestly. And essentially just either revert the changes, or, you know, take the feedback from the people that plays the game, and essentially, you know, do what they need to do best for the business and for the game, and how it to keep it basically in good graces with people, honestly. I don't think they would even let this change even happen, first of all. Like, this wouldn't even happen in the first damn place. But this would definitely be, you know, one of the things that they will be like, alright, we effed up, let's fix it. But instead, you got these new devs who are too babyish to honestly understand how to fix things, because they never fix things in their entire lives. And then much less when it comes down to the, you know, negative fan responses on Steam, taking that away and hiding it is probably the most bitch thing you can honestly do, considering the fact that people do that all the time when it comes to hiding replies on Twitter and stuff like that too, when it comes to like the really negative comments that's just genuine criticism, honestly, right? It doesn't make any kind of sense. But again, unless you have like a ton of money to buy out Hidden Variable, or you have a ton of money, or you just in charge of Hidden Variable and you fire the hell out of these people, no one ain't gonna really listen to you, honestly. These are the types of moments where I'm like, damn, I wish I had the money to just go buy this damn company, say good riddance to all these damn devs, and then put it into the hands of people that actually give a shit. Or even send it back out to the community again, so we can get the community to really be about this game once more. Mainly because the community made that damn game, the community it was built for had all types of hands in that game, when a lot of the aspects of the lootness on it was honestly built around it, honestly. Like, let's get one thing clear too. Like, when it comes down to that, the lootness was definitely a part of the reason why so many people even tried out the game. Again, it's a community, fan base made ass game. Let's be perfectly honest, right? Even when it comes to certain things outside of, you know, even honestly, even though there is other reasons why people could get interested in this game, there's sometimes other reasons why people would get into the game for different reasons. Like, oh, this character's hot, I play the game just for that. Or basically any other reason, honestly. Like, hell, one of the people that worked on the game literally made a whole animation of Philia getting banged by her own hair. Like, how do you not think people wouldn't be attracted to this game after seeing that and want to start playing it? Honestly, it's like, and same actor, and it's the same artist, honestly, that really, I would say, even went as far as to get a lot of Western people into anime as well. Honestly, whether they like that or not, it is what it is. They basically were a major player in a lot of shit back in the early 2000s. But when it comes down to things, the fact that it's just like all this stuff when it comes to this game, it's just getting censored and just getting trashed on, and the devs don't give a shit about their audience and stuff like that. It's just really, really insanely annoying that this is happening to, again, a game that I have a lot of respect for, but it's also just really annoying that this has to happen though, at the end of everything. Because it didn't need to happen. All you had to do was literally just keep the same shit that you had, and then literally appeal to new people by creating characters, and that's all you had to do. Literally reuse some characters that people been wanting to see in the game for like a long ass time. Like, you've been doing that. That's one of the things that you could have been doing. And then you could have marketed the game even better by adding like a second DLC roster of characters where, you know, and that could have been like a thing. And then just keep again the game the same way it has always been. You were doing fine. Why did you feel like you needed to remove shit? I have literally no idea. Honestly, you couldn't give me any amount of money. Hidden Variable couldn't give me any amount of money to make me understand that what they did was a good idea. I don't think there is any reason or any idea, really anything that could make them to make me understand that, you know, removing certain elements of the game was important or was a wise decision. I don't think there is anything that you can actually say that would change my mind in that regard, honestly. Honestly, at this point, since we're going to be relying on mods for the rest of the foreseeable future of Skullgirls, if someone can make like an entire version of Skullgirls and just take all the animation sprites and just make it a nude mod of the in-game, which will be a lot of work, let's be honest, because there's way too many sprites to work on. But if someone were to do something like that and just make the whole game just straight up one giant animated nude mod, that would be hilarious, and that would be the best damn thing that could ever happen, honestly, as a retaliation towards Hidden Variable. I would love to see that shit, just because censorship doesn't make any kind of sense when it comes to this game. Again, do I think it's going to happen? I don't necessarily think so. Granted, there is people that know how to draw some nice ass sprite animations and know how to get those sprite animations looking very sexy, like Jomo for example, but when it comes down to things, that's just a lot of work to do, honestly. But I would love to see that shit to happen, honestly. But when it comes down to things, that's essentially all I really have to say for this one, honestly. Again, this situation is just tremendously annoying, and it really shouldn't even have to be a thing. It should just be, oh, people like this game, they play this game. People, you know, like to see and smell Phileas ass, sure, why not? But the fact that, honestly, that, again, shit like this has to get changed because of modern sensibilities doesn't make any kind of sense. Like I said before, and plenty of other videos I made about this topic, honestly, it just, at the end of the day, incredibly stupid. And again, you also have like all these other people coming through left, right, and center who either has never played the game or doesn't play, you know, since it really first came out, and everybody is kind of coming into the topic. Now, at this point in time, we're just getting into a point where the topic is getting muddied up. It's really getting muddied up, and everybody's throwing out every type of opinion out there, maybe saying that this whole thing is blown out of proportion, or maybe saying that there is no bad censorship, honestly, when it comes to this game, and stuff like that. You're getting the stupid people, and then you're getting it washed in with the actual reasonable takes, people with biases coming through. And again, just like any type of drama discussion thing, it just get muddied up. And again, the situation ain't gonna get no better. As much as I would like to see, again, the censorship will just be removed completely, it's not gonna get better. As much as I don't want that to be the case, you know, to have this game to actually be like in a proper light for everybody, and the game go back to being what it was, it's just not gonna happen. As much as I hate that. But that's essentially all I have for you for this one again. So hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification on out. Also follow me on the socials, and if you'd like to donate to the channel, Patreon is available as well. And until then, this is Boy J, signing off. Have a blessed day.